Welcome back to the Convocation Center. We are joined by some special guests here in San Antonio, including UTSA soccer head coach Derek Pittman. Derek, thank you so much for joining us. You won the American Conference title, and how good does it feel to be here and celebrate with your group?
It's a bit surreal. It's been fantastic. The year's gone very, very well. Obviously, the end was more than we could have ever hoped for. We definitely had some strong patches throughout the season, but had also a little bit of a dip where we went on a 3-game losing streak. But the girls did a phenomenal job of kind of correcting those things and heading into the conference tournament with a lot of momentum, and played exceptionally well. And we talked about it all week long at the conference tournament. We wanted to play together. We wanted to play with toughness, and we wanted to play with trust. Trust the game plan, trust the players that were standing next to you. And they did exactly that in all 3 games. And it was a lot of fun to play in the NCAA tournament and give Texas Tech everything they wanted and more.
Coach Pittman, I've had the pleasure of covering your team for 3 seasons. This was my 3rd season this last round, and this is the best I've seen them, right? And, of course, you go on, you win the tournament, but what was the real game changer here that made the difference?
I don't know if I would name one specific thing. I think for all year long, even back to where we were in July to where we ended up at the end, the team culture was massive. And I said it many, many times. This was a group that was tough as hell. Like, they compete, they battle their tails off. They gave everything they have every single night that they were out there. I can only look back at 1 or 2 games that they were a bit flat. But to be fair, they were fantastic all year long, and they were just tough in every moment. We talk about it all the time. You can't control what the other team does. All you can do is control your response. And they showed that throughout the entire season. And that, along with just, they did not care who got the credit. Like, our leading goal scorer was Zoe May as a holding midfielder, right? We had big moments across the board. Aaliyah Durden, Jasmine Kessler, Cameron Closa, Bree Kerrigan, Brooklyn Bailey, Emily Ekman, Ava Jackson. I could go on and on and on. Izzy Lane, Riley Miller, like Michelle Polo. There's people I'm forgetting, but the bottom line is, in every single one of those moments, somebody stepped up and somebody took the moment, and wrapped their hands around it and ran with it. And it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
Now, we cannot talk about this season without talking about that Memphis game.
Yes,
I was in my apartment, jumping up and down, screaming all over social media about it. 3 goals in run of play against a ranked team, a ranked opponent. You guys handled them in the regular season, but you really brought it to them there. And then there's, of course, the storyline of Kessler, who scores the goal, saves the game-winning PK. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. I mean, talk about that experience and what, it meant for you to win that game.
Well, first and foremost, I have to give a tremendous amount of credit to Robin Gann, Colleen Pitts, Tom, that our staff did a phenomenal job of preparing. We wanted to go at Memphis in the regular season and give them everything we had just to find out, hey, can we do this? We knew that once we got to the conference tournament, all roads led through Memphis, whether we met them in the semifinal or we met them in, the final. We just didn't want to play them in the first round, so we were thankful to not have to do that on opening night. But the job that our coaching staff did to be able to prepare our players, and then our players being able to absorb that information. We did some different things against Memphis that frustrated them and gave them some, problems. And, our kids just stood up and believed that, like, no, we can beat this team. And we don't care that they're number 3 in the country. We don't care that they're undefeated. We have a legitimate chance. And again, you go back to how tough they were throughout the season. To be down 3-1 with 5 minutes to go in the game and score 2 goals, off of big-time moments from Brooklyn Bailey and then Aaliyah Durden, et cetera. You can go on down the list. And then, Jasmine Kessler, I love telling the story about the penalty kick shootout. I walked up to her right before the shootout. I was like, hey, do you feel comfortable, taking the pen? And I won't say what she really said, but she was basically like, yeah, coach, I got this. And I was like, okay, so here's the deal. You're gonna kick the first one, and you're gonna save 2, and we're gonna win this thing, and we're gonna go to the final. And she was like, all right, done. Well, then she forgets that she was supposed to be the first one taking it, because Memphis won the coin toss, and so they took the shot, the first one, and they chose to take, so she has to be in goal. Well, after Henderson missed the first penalty, Kessler's just walking around and we're screaming at her like, hey,
get out there,
Kessler, you gotta take. Finally, the referee goes, I think you're supposed to take the first one. So, and it was one of those deals I just told her. I said, kick it as hard as you can, put a hole in the net, just don't miss. She was like, done. And so it really set the tone, I think, just the mentality of our kids to then go ahead and go and and the way that they fought back to be able to get that result. And even to play into overtime against Rice on Championship Sunday, and the story of Bree Kerrigan going through the struggles that she went through in the injury, and then being able to score the game winner for us in overtime to win us the trophy was massive. So a lot of different storylines throughout the season, but just overall, just that team culture and that toughness that they had all season was a lot of fun to be a part of.
Derek, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate the time.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Birds up.
We'll be back with more from the Convocation Center. Second half coming up in San Antonio.